So this is the Funkast. Thank you very much for coming on here. This is Seeds and Stems, Central New York, Robert, and I've heard about you just through Instagram. Going through just trying to find people who are actually putting their voice out there. It seems like you're following your passion. Not a lot of people stay in this space that aren't passionate about it. So yeah, it was just it was a given that I was gonna reach out to you. I knew I had a list in my head as soon as I started doing this real vocalizing the cannabis space from my end, and you were on it. So I really would just like to dive in and see what your story is, what your background is on it, what really got you going, and what drives you now. So yeah, hit me with some stories.
Oh, hey, um, just wanted to say thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. It's not something I do a lot, so um, bear with me if I seem a little nervous or anything. But my name is Robert, as you mentioned, and I run a local seed bank here in Central New York, Seeds and Stems, Central New York, and we try to provide home growers as well as professional growers the opportunity to find the best seeds, not only in Central New York, but we also look all over the United States for different breeders to feature as well. So we're trying to put seeds in the hands of people so that they can grow at home as well as any commercial grows that would be interested. So um, I got into it basically because I was a seed hound. I just really, I was a collector of seeds. I've been growing for probably since in my teens, and it's just a passion of mine, I guess. And I didn't see too many people, especially in this area, doing this particular part of the cannabis world. So I thought, it might be a good opportunity to to get involved there, with providing seeds and seedlings for people
No, yeah, that's
to grow. So,
so. You said you started when you were in your teens. So did
y-
I.
yep.
We probably have a little bit of an age difference. And I am also. I never heard it called a seed hound. That's awesome. Yeah, because I am. I call it a fixation. Sort of.
Yeah.
I always go back to, I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's where like the world sends all of their seeds. Just it's like a huge like world seed bank just in case the shit hits the fan. That's
Oh,
that's
yeah, yeah.
sort of how I was like thinking about it when I started. I didn't slowly build a collection. I had always sort of had this passion. Me and my brother, we do this here in I guess you call this Western New York, the Finger Lakes area,
Hmm.
and so I had always had friends as well out in this area in this space that weren't really as vocal as I was, and when I started doing this, I did have a lot of like real outreach coming towards me from people that were in the space that have left, that didn't really want to put their name out there like, hey, I have all these seeds, who can buy them from me? So they just reached out like, hey, I see what you're doing. I see that you're talking my website. I don't really advertise selling seeds per se, but I have my list online. I have things that I could do custom online, and they're like, okay, well, hey, I have this entire collection here. Would you like to grab it? And that sort of started me on it. So really, collecting's only uh, the most recent of my ADHD hobby hunting. So and
Yeah,
it's addicting. I could
it
say
is.
it is one of the only things that I found addicting with the cannabis space and flower space. It really is because it's possibility. You know,
Yes.
and
Yeah,
it's
that's what I love about it too.
yeah, it
You're not gonna with a clone, you know what you're going to get every time because it's a cutting from the original. With seeds, because of the variations and things that can happen, um, and which genetics the plant takes on the most, you can get different results from 4 or 5 different seeds from the same plant, which is what I love. I love those variations and playing those out and things like that. So I don't know. I guess that's always been my thing was to just well, I don't know. I also I remember how hard it was for my friends who were growers to even get seeds back in the day.
Mhm.
I had a friend that would have to drive to Canada every year and smuggle them back over the border just to grow, his grow. And I kind of wanted to change that. I also wanted to change the stigma a little bit and make it so that they weren't so forbidden,
Right.
just like any other seed, at the store that you can buy.
Mhm.
So there's like several different goals, but it really did start out as me just being a collector and growing that into this business, and into this. Well, I guess it's a hobby and a business,
Yeah, no,
kind of combined.
it's a good thing. It's a good hobby to have, something that you can turn into a profit as well, because we all know
Yeah,
hobbies
I
just
like to
eat
call it a
money.
bit. I like to call it a business, but really, to be honest with you, it's definitely not a get rich quick thing or anything you can expect to make a lot of money on.
Right.
It's you've got to have a passion for it, and you got to like it, or else you're not going to be doing it very long.
Yeah, it's
There's not a
almost
huge profit margin in seeds. There just
right.
isn't. So,
Right. It's
um,
almost that
you
you're
know,
never really gonna make a killing off of the sea. I do.
no,
It's sort of like the unsung hero of the space. It's
I'm
like
not
you
looking at
still.
a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm looking at more of it being a service for people. And to take, I really want to remove the stigma that's involved with cannabis. I think it's ridiculous, and it's been around too long,
Mhm.
and it really needs to change in people's minds.
Yep.
And I think that's happening. But um, making it, normalizing it, and making it like purchasing any other type of seed for any other type of plant that you would grow is going to go a long way in changing that stigma or whatever
Yeah, it's
that people.
when I look at a lot, like you had said, the variations from seed to seed to seed, it it's an again no brainer that would be sort of the easiest way for anybody to get in to learn a lot more. Yeah, you can learn a lot from cloning. I mean, learning
Hmm.
the whole process
Yeah,
of cloning is definitely valuable. But
I'm
learning
not
how to
knocking that. Yeah.
grow something from a seed, and make it so you can get however many arms you want. However, get it trained, get it hunted. Testing things
Hmm.
out that might not be really progressed so much. A clone, it's nice. It's kind of cheating, but it's nice.
Yeah,
You know,
you're gonna get a consistency with a clone where
yeah,
it's more of a, I don't know. I'm not going to say a gamble, but it's more of a surprise. We'll say
right.
what your results are going to be if you pop, say, 10 seeds. Yeah, you could have 10 clones. They're going to be exactly the same and same genetics, same results
Right.
every time. Whereas popping 10 seeds, even if they're feminized, yes, you're going to get all female plants, but they're going to take on certain dominant uh, genes and
Mhm.
recessive genes that you may not see in that particular clone,
Right.
and you're going to just be stuck with whatever the genetics are
Hmm.
of that very first clone that you got.
Yep. Yep.
Whereas the seeds you can develop, different lines and emphasize more, different traits more
Yeah,
over
it's
time.
you've got that many roads to go where the clone, it's already taken its road. It's got,
That's right. Yeah.
you shouldn't expect any change on it unless you stress it out, and then your change is
Yeah.
probably going to be
Yeah.
seeds. um,
Yeah. It's probably
with
so.
it blows my mind because that's what I'm really in this for, is the stigma portion of it and trying to release it. I've since I was young, I was always sort of vocal on how I don't mind smoking. My God rest their souls. My parents never really got on me about smoking either, because there was tons of other things I could be doing that were 10 times worse.
Hmm.
As everybody
Absolutely.
sees now with these epidemics we have going around with fucking needles and pills and everything else. It's pop seeds, not pills.
Absolutely.
It rings true, and every cannabis enthusiast will tell you, yeah, like if you need something to give you a rush, like that's another outlet you could have for getting a rush. Like that's, instead of cooking stuff up to make these fucking bioengineered drugs, you could take the time to learn how to grow something that is immediately transferable to everything else in life as far as horticulture, agriculture goes. The seeds,
Hmm.
while they're all different, they do grow the same. The same type of
Right.
germination process for a
Hmm.
strawberry or a bean applies to a cannabis seed, and it's
Absolutely. Yes.
it's insane that the stigma exists because of what it actually is at a base. It's a plant. It's something that's grown before us. It'll grow after us, but you can you can see how like stigmas with psilocybin mushrooms and other types of mushrooms, even that even because mushrooms aren't all psilocybin, some mushrooms, like when you talk about nootropics and you talk about all of the various like lion's mane, turkey tail, all them, like people get a stigma about them, but I'm almost seeing that stigma get released and removed a lot quicker than I'm seeing the cannabis one, and that blows my mind. You can
Yeah,
order
that's
a
strange.
psilocybin mushroom spore syringe in the mail like that, but
Yep.
you weren't able to
Without an
get
issue.
seeds, or you have your stuff seized, or you don't get your package at all. But that syringe makes it to your doorstep every damn time.
Yeah,
And
it's strange. It is.
it's even off of
It's
like
kind of
Venmo
upside
or
down a little bit. Yeah.
Cash App. Like it's not even on the up and up. Where a lot of places for seeds, seed banks, breeders, you're purchasing it right on their website. It's through. You could use a credit
Hmm.
card. You could use PayPal. You could use Cash. What is it called? Apple Pay. It's just crazy to me that it has not progressed proportion like the same way. There hasn't been that big of a push to by everybody to get this cannabis out of this space. But again, I'll touch back on it. The mushrooms. You see people actively pushing, like, oh, this is cure for PTSD. We can take it and you can rewire your brain. Now, I get those things, I do, but we've already got
Hmm.
past all of that with cannabis. Like, there's been so many tests, so many research studies done on this plant, and you're not gonna die. I think you could die off of mushrooms. I'm not 100% sure, but I think maybe they could kill you if you took enough of them, and it's not like
I think so. Yeah, I think you would.
cannabis. You have to
Yes.
smoke like 5 pounds, right?
Yeah, it would be ridiculous.
So, I
You'd
just I don't.
asphyxiate before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. The smoke would kill you from not being able to
Yeah.
breathe, then the actual plant's gonna kill you. But
Right.
and it could go till I'm blue in the face on it. It's starting from that, and I'm glad to see people not really worrying about it as much. Like you being as open, you being on this right now with your face showing shows that you're not necessarily scared. I know it's not illegal, but there still is the
Right.
stigma of people
There's a
looking
stigma.
at you that
Yep.
in town, that might be watching your page or watch this podcast. And I make sure to emphasize, I'm not here glorifying something that's terrible or glorifying a gateway drug, because come on now, I mean, it's not 1969, it's not 1970 anymore. This isn't the way the world's working now. So I'm willing to put my face out there
Well,
and
yeah.
say that this is about education. This is about showing people that there's so many different walks of life. I've talked to hydro store owners, to regular old home growers, to breeders, to seed banks like you. You'll be my second seed bank on here. A different business model than it. You don't deal. I haven't checked your website recently, but I don't believe you deal in psilocybin or anything like that.
No, no.
Um,
I strictly,
right.
just cannabis seeds.
So
Yep.
you'll be the first solo
As well as
cannabis one that I
CBD.
have, and it just shows. It's not everybody's out there trying to just score their next bag to get high, sit on the couch, and eat fucking
No.
funyuns.
Uh,
You know,
you were mentioning like people saying cannabis is a gateway drug. Well, I'm 50 something, and I never left the gateway, I guess, then because I've never progressed
yeah,
beyond that. I don't. I see alcohol more as a gateway um,
yep,
drug,
for
I
sure.
guess, than cannabis. I've seen people get in more trouble with alcohol than cannabis. So I'm not. I really don't buy that argument
Yeah,
that it's a gateway to anything other than what you would have already wanted to do in the first place. So, in other words, the intention was already there
right.
to progress beyond cannabis.
Yep.
So I don't think it was cannabis that made that happen. That's inside of the person themselves.
Yep. Yep.
which, that's an individual choice. And, I'm not going to get into my feelings on any of that stuff. I think it's extremely detrimental, but,
Yeah,
I
detrimental
mean,
to the
to,
public in
to,
general.
yeah, exactly. So there's a lot more harm, I think, that's been done by alcohol, socially and morally than ever from cannabis. So I don't know. I don't like, I hate it when people say that it's a gateway. I know
Mhm.
you weren't saying that, but
Right
like
now.
other people say that. And um, I don't know, alcohol never gets called to the carpet on what it does to society.
Yeah,
It's just cannabis.
alcohol and tobacco,
It's, it's, you know,
I
yeah.
used to smoke too, I used to
Oh,
smoke
me too.
like two and a
Yeah.
half, almost 3 packs a day,
Yep. I was right
for
there with you. Yep.
10 years, and whew, I never once was, noticing how much that actually did to me. I do still
Oh,
drink, but stopping cigarettes, it was almost a night and day like feeling. My body changed immediately. I've gone a year without smoking, to get jobs back in
nice.
the day, and I can't say that it made me feel better to not smoke
Yeah.
cannabis. Maybe
Yeah.
I
Then
didn't
I
get
don't
out
understand.
of breath as much walking up. That's me when I was smoking cigarettes. Still, that they didn't happen at the same time. I quit smoking cigarettes
Right.
after I had got that job. So it's it's not something that is looked at tobacco and alcohol. It's not something that's looked at as detrimental because it's so marketed, it's so advertised,
Yes.
it's been that way for so long. And it's the same coin as the stigma on cannabis. It's just been that way for so long.
Right.
Well, you can't harp on one side saying that these are the studies we've done on things that make it so terrible. We found that I just saw one the other day, and everything's clickbait to me in my head, but I saw something the other day that said that studies show that there's THC in breast milk now.
Oh, I saw
No
that one. Yes.
shit. No shit. Like, of
Yeah.
course, there's alcohol in there and there's nicotine in there when people are smoking and drinking when they
Yeah.
have kids
Anything.
too.
Yeah.
You eat too much
Anything the mother
sugar
to
or
consume.
soda. My wife, when she was breastfeeding, they're like, "Oh, probably shouldn't drink too much soda. It gets the kid, gassy." It's like, of course it
Yep.
goes in there, but is
Yeah.
it killing the kid? I'm not saying go test your breast milk on your kids that you've been just to see if they get messed up, but have kids died from it or kids getting jacked up from it? I mean, I haven't ever heard of
Yeah.
anybody,
I've never heard of
you know,
anything like that.
but
Yeah.
I mean, smoking when they're in the womb, maybe that's different. But you drinking and having alcohol in your breast milk, I know that fucks kids up.
It
And
does. Yes.
smoking cigarettes, I'm not 100% positive on that, but I gotta think it does. I gotta think
Yeah.
something
They
makes it
say
in
that it,
there.
it leads to sometimes like low birth weight and a few in other things. And those, I'm sure the chemicals can get passed through.
Right.
The mother shares pretty much everything with the baby. So I mean, the same goes for any food additives or
Right.
anything like that, or anything you come in contact with, cleaning supplies. That all gets passed through. So I don't know, to single out cannabis and say
Yeah, no,
that's
that's what
particularly
it is.
bad over anything else, that's, I think, kind of crazy. But
It's singled out.
and I'm not anti alcohol or anti anything else. I'm more libertarian, where I believe to each his own, you know, and I personally kind of preach everything in moderation, because I think if you live your life that way in moderation in just all aspects of it, that's going to lead to balance, and you're not getting out of balance with anything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was never really good at drinking. That would make me. I usually got sick or whatever.
Hey.
So, I tended to be the cannabis guy. My friends were all drinkers, and I would party with them and things like that. I'm not saying I didn't drink, but
Right.
I always preferred cannabis over alcohol, only because, well, you never really got in a fight, or you never.
If you
There's
got
all
sick,
kinds of
it's because
things
you
that I
ate
would
too much.
see. Yeah, yeah, that alcohol led to with my friends that didn't seem to be happening with me, just smoking weed.
Right.
I just want to get along with everybody and chill and be cool. And alcohol sometimes. the wrong person, given to the wrong person, they want to fight everybody in the room.
Oh yeah.
So, and there was never a worry with cannabis and hanging out with people who smoke cannabis of that ever happening.
If
I mean,
anything,
how many
it builds
fights do
that
you?
camaraderie, not camaraderie, or that I guess I don't know the word I'm thinking of, but like a community. I'm more likely
Hmm.
to pass you that joint, you know, and create
Yes.
a bond, not a bond, but like build a relationship with you, or at least
Yeah.
get
It's just,
familiar with you,
yeah.
than it is to be, son of a bitch just fucking rubbed me the wrong way.
Yep. If,
So
we've all been to the fair, so
oh yeah, oh yeah, them
so you know what I
Western
mean.
and
But
Central New York fairs. Yeah, we all
it's
know
really
them.
not the guys smoking weed that are causing all the chaos at the
Yep.
fair or anywhere like that.
But
So
we won't
it's
schedule
always been
alcohol or
really funny to
tobacco
me.
as anything. We won't
Yeah.
schedule it at all. Um,
Yeah. I mean, it's always been really funny to me that people single out cannabis. And it's kind of silly,
I
but
don't like the
that's kind of been my
smell.
point the whole time here, I guess.
That's what I hear all the time. It smells. I don't like it. You like the smell of
Well,
tobacco? You like the smell of
yeah,
throw up on the ground from alcohol? You like the way alcohol
yeah,
smells
true.
on your clothes? If you do,
Yeah,
fine.
I
If you
mean,
do, fine. But I mean,
right. And that's to
just
each his own, like I
yeah,
said. But
just think of a skunk.
um,
Skunks outside when you see me walk down the street and it smells afterwards. Fuck, it'll be gone in a minute.
there's products you can use that aren't as smelly
Yeah.
well as smoking. So
Yep.
I don't know, maybe try edibles
I'm
or
more of a flower person. I
yeah, me
enjoy
too.
the old
I'm old
school.
school like that. Yeah,
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 I can hit a pen or something or something like that, but it's got to have not a single flavor except for cannabis in it. I like that
yeah.
skunky flavor still. I don't like tasting a goddamn blueberry pie. It just
I
like
got you. Yeah.
it gets me like that makes me sick. Like it's in my head. Um, and one thing that you had said, the gateway drug and how that really irks you. Well, I have a 12, almost 13-year-old daughter who just went through DARE, and that's where I had always heard it growing up is DARE. And
Yes.
I know there
Yep.
was a
Yep.
real big transition in the whole DARE structure. While they still preach you shouldn't be doing drugs and cannabis is a drug, whatever, but they don't, at least she never said when I asked, and I'm not outward like, hey, did they say anything to you about cannabis today? It's I would just ask like, hey, what did they tell you today? Because it smells in my house. Eventually, she's gonna learn of what that is, or start asking questions. She's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, nothing. I'm like, what do they talk to you about? Like, she's like, just really alcohol and tobacco and like cigarettes. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they're putting more emphasis on that stuff now.
Yeah,
Yes.
which it was sort of like a breath of fresh air, I guess I should say. Like yeah, teach them about the things that are gonna actually, a fuck them up, and b
Yes.
is more readily presented to them. There's ads on the sides
That's
of
true.
stores. There's a whole aisles to fucking booze. At least they have cigarettes behind a fucking wall. It's not because they don't want to sell them. It's because they get stolen, but it's like nobody's out there just giving away free weed. So I mean, maybe now with
Right.
legalization the way it is in New York, yeah, maybe people do just hand it around like, giveaways and stuff. So, but kids aren't on Instagram doing that. I'd like to think, but it's it was a breath of fresh air just like hearing her not bring up that they're like, oh yeah, they told me to stay away from cannabis or marijuana because then I'm automatically got my needle in my arm, so I felt really good about it. uh and I hope that's like a sign of it, at least law enforcement, you know give I say give up because that's a terrible way to say it, but understanding that there's bigger problems out there.
Yes,
And
it's finally changing.
I'm
Yeah.
not like I'm not gonna be, and this is 100% true because I've done this. I don't have a DWI, but I'd be lying if I said I had not gotten behind the wheel when I shouldn't have before. um, I don't think about doing that when I'm stoned. I'm just
Right.
sitting around, and if I am, it's like I'm going somewhere someone else is driving, or
Yep.
but when I'm drunk or when I've been drunk, the thought crosses my mind like I could fucking do this. It's only around the corner. It,
Yeah, it's the way that alcohol affects your mind
yeah,
differently than cannabis.
yep,
There's that it lowers your inhibitions a lot more and makes you think you're more invincible than you are
For
and things
sure.
like that. And I've been there as well. I know that there has been a couple of times back in the day when I was in my 20s when I probably shouldn't have been driving. And I, you know, just because your judgment is off,
Yep.
you take that chance. And I'll tell you, it scared me so much. The one night I did it, I didn't do it ever again because it was like a snowstorm. It was just this big mess.
Yeah.
And it scared me enough never to do it again. But um, unfortunately, that's not the case with everybody. People just continue to do that until something terrible happens. And I think it messes with your judgment a lot more,
Yep.
alcohol, I mean, than cannabis. You're still able to make better judgments when you're high than when you're drunk.
Yep.
So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think that has a lot to do with it, the way it affects your brain and things like that. But
Yep. I I
uh,
I think it's a big win if we can keep going. Like I said, with if law enforcement, really that side of it anyway, the dare side really isn't pushing children to think about it as a terrible thing, or it's the demon like it was growing up for me anyways. It might also open doors for teachers that who might be sort of friendly or keen on like the horticulture agricultural side of it, that because
yeah.
I don't know if you know of Root Nerds. They make
Oh,
it,
I love root nerds.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
that
I
device, and
love those guys.
I
I've actually have two of the auroras,
yeah, I have one of
and I
them and
use
the
to pop
dome
these
on
pop
top.
seeds.
It's amazing, and I immediately thought like double-edged sword in my head. I was like, oh fuck, I'm like I could really
Oh,
do something nice here. Did you say hold on?
no, no, go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry. I could really do something nice here, and I'll
That's,
this unit. Yeah. Oh fuck
that's
yeah.
nice.
I don't. I got.
So there you go. I'm a fan. They're also local boys. They're up from Oswego, New York. So
Yep. Yep. They.
I like supporting them for that reason. But not only that, their product is wonderful. It's great.
I
I
think it's
encourage
got
anyone who
applications
pops
in
seeds.
education. It does. It,
Yes, absolutely.
I do not vaguely, vividly remember putting seeds in a paper towel, throwing them in a fucking
Yep.
plastic bag on a window, and waiting 4 days till they all germinated till I could do something. I've popped cannabis seeds in 18 hours in that thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
And again,
You.
all seeds, I mean, they might have a different germination rate, but the schools aren't putting in peppers that take 4 or 5 months to germinate. They're doing something that's quick. And if they had this device that could cut it
Mhm.
half of the time, cut right off the top, these kids might be a little bit more apt to want to be passionate about growing things, agriculture, because it's what's that dopamine fix they're gonna get right from it. Like, oh wow, they don't have to go 4 days; they can come in almost the next day, and they're throwing it
Mhm.
in soil. Now, really, what does that do after that? Well, now that plant gets to grow 4 extra days, and they get to see it grow and get bigger at school. My kid brought home a bachelor button flower that they had done in school, and it was only like this big by the time he got it home, and he forgot about it because it was only this fucking big when he brought it home. And we ended up giving it to his aunt for her birthday, and it was like 2 feet tall, but he didn't know it because he didn't look at it again after he left. I just think that little bit of more time on the back end, or at school, the front end, I guess I would say, seeing that plant grow in class, where they're going to be there, the teacher knows that they're going to see it, they can talk to them more about the plant, like this is what this means, this is, oh, this one's having pistils and steaming, they're coming out, this is what they mean. Kids might get more interested in it. I've I came at it at a bad time because my kid had already done that bachelor button task before I had really synced up with Root Nerds. But I'm going to grab a few devices and I'm going to bring them into my son's first grade class. There's only like 4 of them. And I'm going to say, here, please just use this and use this for the rest of the time. Here's the instructions on it. And I just want to see where it goes. I'm not going to ask them to send me back any like feedback or anything like that. But my kid's gonna come home and I'm gonna ask him, like, oh, hey, what did you guys do? Did you see that device? Like, daddy gave them that device. Let me know. Like go in and talk about it. If they ask you, like, if you want to do more plants, say yes. Like, we want to do more. And I really do just think that it's gonna get root nerds a little bit more exposure, because like you said, I love those guys. I love both of them. I only met the one. I had him out with me to the Home Growers Championship. Which, were
Oh
you
yeah,
at
yep.
that?
I was.
Oh man,
I couldn't get out of the
I didn't get out of
couldn't
the
get out
booth.
of the booth
Yeah,
much because I had my wife and my daughter with me, but because it was so hot that day, they went back to the hotel relatively early. So I was sort of stuck manning the booth the entire day. So I didn't get out too much to see anything or
yeah.
talk to anyone, which kind of was a bummer, but it was still fun.
Yep.
It was
No,
still a
yeah,
great
that
time.
was my first real big like vending event. I hadn't really done too much. I'd always just grown for myself, so wouldn't have to go out and spend money or anything. I'm spending money
Hmm.
other ways, but not having to go out and look for it all the time. So it was my real first big event, and I don't know if I will do it next year. I am one of the organizers and the coordinators for the event, so I'll probably try and stay out of the vending space because, like you said, it was a bummer for me. I had Mark from Root Nerds there. I had one of my buddies there. Like, we were all in the tent. We had a good time and everything, but I did just see like all these other good times go by my face. Like,
Yeah,
y-
that's what it was with me. I mean, I'm like, I wanted to get over and see the glass blowing. I wanted to get over
I was
and,
right
to the
across from it,
judge,
so I did get to see the
the
glass
tent,
blowing. Yeah.
yeah, even like, the tent where they had the judging going on. I
Yep.
really didn't get to do any of that kind of stuff. I do want to thank some of the other vendors there that noticed that I was alone and would bring me over water and
Oh,
Gatorade.
very cool.
It definitely helped get through the day.
Very cool.
So
It's
it
smart
was
that you
very
guys got a
appreciative.
hotel too. Me, my buddy, and then my wife met us up there. We all, uh, so if you live out like near Oswego, you live farther than I live in Seneca Falls, like right between Rochester and Syracuse. So
Hmm.
I drove all the way
Oh
fucking
yeah.
back that night. It was it was a nice relaxing drive back, but I swapped cars with the wife and I took the one that didn't have AC on the way home. So it was like,
Oh, good God. Yeah.
fuck yeah, it was a long
Yeah, it
drive to
was
talk
hot that day.
about, yeah, to talk about the event, what we would have done different, what we plan on doing next year or whatever. um and so a one man show at the event. That's well, I guess let me get back to that Aurora thing. So yeah, I'm gonna get those Auroras into the school. Mark is awesome. I even told him, like, if you ever any when the Gen 3 comes out, if you have any old twos or factory seconds, let me know. If I could do more than four in a school or do multiple schools, I would really like to do that. In So if there's any schools in your area, or I told him the same thing, or his area, let me know offline, because if
Oh,
I
nice.
can find deals like that, the people that I've talked to, I want to work with them on doing it in their area as well, even if it's a unit or 2 units. 4-H clubs, Boy Scouts. It doesn't have to be a school. To just get it out there, and if it's something that nobody, like, you're not afraid to be on this podcast, if you want to throw your name on it, I don't need anything from it at all. Just the sheer feeling that I did something awesome. You could have your name on it. It's not anything that I would try to hold or gatekeep from anybody. It would just be,
I gotcha.
you
Yep.
know, building that community, working together to do these types of things. Um, and it sort of that really sort of leads me into something later that I was going to talk to about, like, community connections with getting a bunch of like everybody that I've had on these podcasts. I've only posted 3. I got 9 scheduled out, and then I've got 3 or 4 that I'm still editing. But all of those people have said so far that they are interested in doing something that's, whether it be virtual or whether it be something that's like a communal place that everybody comes, that's within reason. I'm not going to ask, like, I wouldn't ask you to drive out to Basin again or have everybody go to Basin. It would be somewhere sort of central, like the Finger Lakes area, the Syracuse area,
Hmm.
in those areas, to meet up where everybody could at least talk throw ideas around, or in worst case, even be a virtual like this. I mean, with this Zoom that I'm using, I think I have like 300 people on this damn thing. It just
Oh,
give
there you go.
everybody a. I don't like saying it like this, but I do come from a family that has had alcohol issues, so I do at the same time not care that I'm saying it. It's like I see it as sort of like an AA, but not because you need help. That type of feel. Like you go around and be like, "Hey, I'm Steve. This is what I'm doing. This is like
Hmm.
what I'm passionate about." And go around the room, and even if one person comes up and like, "Dude, I'm passionate about that too. Like, what have you been doing in this, or have you run into this type of thing, and what did you do to fix it?" You know, the really the talking and getting to know people is the first 10 to 20, maybe 30 minutes at most, going around the room. After that, it's just walking around talking to people. You know, there's no
Hmm.
structure after that. And I would really like to see, maybe like you as well, if you would ever be interested in something like that, to be part of it, because having the whole entire space represented is really the main goal for me. That's the community. It's not just, again, the people out there trying to get high. It's not just the growers. It's not just the breeders. It's also the people who, without you, breeders are shit unless they have a website. You know what I mean? Or
Right.
someone who can cut good clones is shit unless they got a website. You're a facilitator with a passion for the space, and it facilitates other people's passions as well, while fulfilling yours. So great. I'm glad that was able to segue into something like that without having to just be like, oh, and let me talk to you about this. It was a good lead in. So, like, back to the home grow competition. I see you have Battle of the Buds shirt on. That's awesome. Where'd you get
Yep.
the shirt? Have you gone to the event and he
Um,
has them?
I've actually been a sponsor of Battle of the Buds since the very beginning.
Very cool.
We, yeah, I met Dave back when the Cuse Bowl was going on,
Dave's good
and I
shit.
got to know him then. And he told me of this idea that he had, and I was like, "Hey, that really sounds cool. Keep me posted, if this goes anywhere." And it was this idea of a competition between growers,
Hmm.
and he had just kind of the um, basic outline of what he was going to do. And, it wasn't even fleshed out yet. He just was kind of talking about it. And
Right.
he's like, yeah, I'll keep you in mind. And when we get going on this, I'll let you know. And, I'm going to be looking for sponsors and, blah, blah, blah. So it started there. I was at the very first. I've been at most of them that have been in Ithaca. It's hard when they're, around
Hmm.
other places
Yeah.
to get to all of them. But all the Ithaca Battle of the Buds, we usually are there with our booth and sponsor the event. So it's a really good time. It's right in Ithaca,
Hmm.
and we've always had fun being there. And it's really grown. It's grown tremendously in just that maybe 2 years that it's been. I don't even know if it's even been exactly even 2 years yet, but
Right.
um, he when he first made these shirts, he gave them out to all the sponsors. So this is
That's
one,
that's very
from that
cool.
batch. Yeah.
I didn't know him too much until like right around the home grow festival, and I call it a festival. Everyone gets mad at me. It was a competition, Steve. Competition. Um, but yeah, he's one of the organizers too, and
Hmm.
real good dude. Excuse me, extremely knowledgeable. And it
Oh
just
yeah,
a good
definitely.
head on his shoulders. Nicest guy. When I first met him, it was just I walked up and I was talking to him about his dog Juju, and it was just,
Oh, Juju, yeah.
yeah, it was just like I was like, oh my god, what's wrong with, is everything okay with the dog's leg? And he's just like, no, the dog's been like that since I had the dog, and it lives its
Hmm.
best life, man. I'm like, you should get a satchel and like walk around. He's like, fuck out of here. Goes and gets his satchel, comes back. He's
Yeah,
like,
I
you mean
saw
like
that.
this? I was like,
Yeah.
yep, dude, you know it. You got it down. That dog is living its best life.
Yep.
It's great. And that's what I mean, just walking in and being able to talk to somebody that you don't fucking know from a hole in the wall. People look intimidating, you know what I mean? Anybody on the street or
Absolutely.
anybody who
That's true.
you just looks a certain way, looks that intimidating way, people just shy away from. But if you've got that one shred of just being approachable, like one nice thing, or just like a hey, how you doing, a soft spoken voice, which most people that do cannabis I found do have soft spoken voices. Maybe it's the smoke. But it really it again, I say the word a lot. It was a no brainer for me that this is where I was supposed to be. So that's
Oh,
why I
yeah.
pushed. I pushed Justin. Me and him. He's local to me. A closer look.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yep.
I was like, dude, I really want to be part of this. Like this is something that my face is relatively new here, but I mean, I'm 38. I've been doing this stuff since I was 16.
Hmm.
I could provide insight with a little bit of here, a little bit of there. I'm not a master of nothing, but I've got more hobbies than that's my hobby, collecting hobbies, man. So and they all have cannabis related annotation to them or whatever, so I can help somewhere. And open arms. That's what it was. It was like, here, Steve, let's hug. And it was like, great. I love it. It made me happy. It showed me a lot more on the advertising side of it as well. Getting it out there. I see you do great advertising out there with the flyers that you have for the clones. I forget the brand of the clones on that flyer, but with your giveaways, everything. I did the $14. I forget the name of it. It was like a grab bag you offer. Came with that sick ass dragon keychain. Oh, dude, I put that on my boy's backpack. He get
Oh,
everybody.
cool.
Everybody asks him, like, "Oh, what is that?" He's like, "That's my dad's dragon." Like, oh, and
That's cool.
yeah, and to be honest, like the giveaways that people offer, not just you, are sort of what keep people with that collection or that collector's mentality going. Because I do you know Brother Kilo Farms?
Hmm.
He's from out west.
Yes. Yep.
With the free the seeds, he did that like Prime
That's
Day.
the duck races,
Yeah,
right? All the
yeah.
time. Yes.
Oh man, I go on
I
there
love
and
the
I
duck races.
tell all my friends, like everybody, hey,
Yeah, he's a great guy.
free
Yeah.
seeds. He's doing this. He's doing that. Go on, like it's a
Free the
game on there.
seeds. Yeah.
Yeah, and he sends like more than he's supposed to. He's like just half the time don't even pay shipping. It's like, oh man, this is what it's about, and some of the stuff you can't even find like cross information on, which is fine. It's not like I'm expecting to get like a fucking OG skunk or like some Acapulco Gold or anything like that. I'm getting something from somebody that gave something to him, and he's
Right.
just giving it out there. I don't have any expectation. If I was buying it for $50 a pack or $100 a pack, yeah, I'd expect some information or some like guarantees. But no, it really helps everybody when you do things like that, because you're showing people that it's all right to give things away. You're winning something out of it as well. You're getting that, oh my god, these people are going to come back, look at your page all the time because they're wondering when you're doing the next giveaway, or they're sharing it, tag 3 people, they're sharing it, there's everyone seeing your posts.
Hmm.
It helps you out as well, and it's basic advertising in Instagram is really just getting other people to post your stuff, because Instagram's algorithm's not gonna offer us in the cannabis space a dime or anything
You're
for
right about
anything
that.
at
Yeah. If
all.
anything, they're gonna shadow ban you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't been
Um,
shadow banned, I don't think.
luck. Yeah,
It's
I'm hearing of a lot of guys
yeah,
getting shut down. And having to come up with a backup page because instance putting a boot down on them or something.
right.
So
I've
so
had like
far
posts
so
like shut
good
down or given away,
here
like not
too.
given away, but I mean like taken down. I did a post with fucking had like Kid Rock's face in it one time, and Instagram said that my video has been taken offline because it goes against guidelines in Belarus, Russia. It's like, well, what the fuck? It's like, okay, well, I guess
Okay.
World Good doesn't get to see my Kid Rock video, but I go through it, and nothing against people. I see people being able to post fucking 400 gram psilocybin mushroom fucking caps,
Hmm.
and they're out there.
Yeah.
You
All
know,
kinds of
I know
stuff.
YouTube shadow bans, not shadow bans. They just legitimate shut your shit down for people who do things like that with like the psilocybin. So it seems like it is really only Instagram. You know, TikTok
Yeah,
tells you flat
Instagram's
out
very
like we're
weird.
not going to show this. Period. Instagram will like let you get the whole damn thing done, and then just you'll wake up in the morning and people say I can't get into my page. It's like
Yep.
it blows my mind. Thinking about it, Instagram would make a fucking shit ton of money or a killing off of, you know, embracing something like this. Somehow there's got to be a way for them to know what state you're in. You know, if you were in a legal state and you're posting these things, maybe they could do something with their algorithm that does a very good job of finding me or finding the people to shadow ban, finding them and just showing that content to people in legal states. Then they can put
I
ads on
know
it.
that technology exists. I
Right.
mean, yeah,
They
they could
know I'm
easily
sitting
do
here.
some
My
stuff
phone
like
heard me
that.
say that. It's going to pop up in like 3 days.
That
Algorithms
that's
for
what I
your own
mean.
stuff. Like it's listening
Yeah.
to you. You care if I
Yeah,
smoke?
they know. No, go for it.
Okay.
You're fine. Absolutely, go for it. But getting back to the giveaway thing, I couldn't do any of those giveaways if it weren't for the generosity of these breeders giving me freebies to give away to people. You know, and it helps to get their name out.
Yep.
And I just love it. I love doing the giveaways. It's one of my favorite things. Been I was intending on doing one every week, but because of my schedule and how busy I am, it's very difficult to do it every week. So I shoot for every other week or so. At least twice a month, we
Right.
try to do a seed pack giveaway. But I'd love to get into that more. It's just, finding people to sponsor
Yep.
that, by sending their seeds or something like that. And we're willing to do that to get your name out there. We'll, run these giveaways and give you full credit and direct people to your page,
Right.
your website, whoever is out there that
Mm-hmm.
wants to do that. You just have to contact me through Instagram or through basically that's probably the easiest way, or even on the website you can
Right.
message me there, and we'd be more than happy to set up a giveaway with your stuff. So
Do you
just
have
as a shout out.
any sort of like stipulations? Is it like you only really want to try with like moderately tested things or
Yes,
okay, good. I
yeah,
was
we
gonna
want to make sure that it's somebody that's been breeding seeds for a decent amount of time and knows what they're doing.
right.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
not, I'm not going to try just throw anything out there just because it's kind of, if something goes wrong with that, then people are looking at me as if it's
Yeah.
my fault. So
Yep. Regardless
these
of
are
whose
all,
names you put on it, they're gonna go
yeah,
back
these
to
are
you.
all established. These are all established seed banks. These breeders that have been doing it for 20 years, say, or
Right. Do you ever
who
have
knows?
anybody coming at you like calling you a white labeler, or anything like that? Like saying basically like you're just
Um,
taking them and mixing them all up and throwing them back in. I've heard a
we don't.
lot of people like you know
That's not.
Seed Supreme and those places. I don't care. I've actually gotten like it looked like an old school dime bag with 4 seeds in it with a little sticky thing on the front of it, a fucking white label. You know what I mean? Like I don't know for sure if this was fucking whatever the hell the name was. Like it wasn't in house, but like I don't know if it's really an in house genetics plant because it came in
I
that
got
fucking
you.
Walmart dime bag. Like, does anybody
Everything.
ever? Is it all in original
Everything we
packets?
have on the website are right from the breeder.
Yeah.
So, um, with the exception of, well, we do carry the bigger name brands too. That's just simply we have a distributor out of Canada that carries these name brands, and I get C packs through them, you know, and resell them,
Right.
because they're a wholesaler basically. Because some of these larger companies, you have to have a minimum order of like $2,000 to $5,000. So a distributor will have the ability to, fulfill that amount and resell them. But they're all in the original packaging, and they're all, you know, um, nothing that we have is like you're saying, like white label
Like a
like
rip
that.
pack. Yeah.
It's all from either the craft breeder themselves sending it to me in the mail for me to resell, or some of the larger names we do go through this distributor in Canada, just because I have accounts with them, but I don't have the capital to be able to put in a $5,000 order with
Yeah,
one
no,
person.
for sure.
So, like Royal Queen seeds, I can order them for people through this company, through this distributorship.
Hmm.
So, of course, they're on the website. Barney's Farms, a lot of these large name seed companies, we do have the ability to have for people. So,
Right.
my emphasis is on the craft breeder and kind of pushing that more. That was kind of to get us started. I really want to go in the direction of more of these craft breeders and more local craft breeders that are tried and true. People that,
Yeah.
we know they have that consistency that you can count on and have been doing it for a while.
Yeah,
So
there's a lot
we're
of
kind of
pollen
trying to get.
shuckers out there.
Yes,
um,
yeah, but I really, my passion is with the craft seed breeder. These guys that run a line and then you'll never to be seen again. Sometimes,
right.
that kind of thing. So like Chad Genetics is a good example of that. They're out of Humboldt County, and he just ran this awesome Frenchies grapes line where he mixed Frenchies grapes with a bunch of other strains and did a whole line. So, it's things like that that I'm more interested in, I think, than, you know, pushing some of the larger names as much.
Yeah,
But
they do
that
their
the
own.
ability
They do
for
their
us to
own
get those
legwork.
for yeah, the ability for us to get those is there. So we're making it. There's a lot of people, our Barney's Farms. I mean, they've been around forever, and a lot of people request them. So I have to have the ability to be able to get those for people if I need to. So
Hmm. And
instead of putting in a $2,000 order with Barney's Farms, I can order what I need from this distributor, at a wholesale price, and then resell them. So
yeah, that's cool.
it allows us to have the variety that we have on the website
Yeah,
and still feature these craft
it's
growers.
almost like you don't have to waste any any of your own legwork on building the relationship with that actual company to get them, like
Yeah,
with the craft.
it's
You can talk to those people and be like, hey, I'd like to
absolutely, yep.
get these. That's a relationship you just built. Like I said, with the Royal Queen and all that, like they they already got their stuff done. You know what I mean?
That's
Like there's
right.
no need for you to, unless you're gonna go drop $5,000 on a bundle pack or a wholesale pack, which
Right.
if you're doing that, then you obviously got enough business that you're gonna get rid of it or whatever. But
No,
it
unfortunately, we're
there's
not there yet.
yeah, you don't need
Definitely
to,
not.
and maybe if that time comes, that's when you get the
Yeah,
relationship with them.
yeah.
Then you don't need
I,
your
I just like
Canadian
having
distributor. So
we like having the variety there just so that people have it if they want to go that route, with the bigger names that they've heard of.
yep. Do you
Um, it's
ever mess around with your own um, like genetics?
a
Have you
little bit,
tried? Yeah.
nothing that I'm comfortable with marketing or selling
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
myself yet. It's just mainly for fun at this point, and, for my own
Mad
personal growth.
scientisting.
Yeah, that kind of thing. I've been playing around with a little bit with autoflowers. I think
Very cool.
I like those for people who are home growers and have a small garden or just a small space in their house
Mhm.
where they don't have the ability to grow big plants. So I've been playing around with an autoflower strain that I've been kind of working on creating myself.
That's very
It's
cool.
it's a combination of this strain called Dark Crinkle, and it's mixed with white crystal. So of course, Chris Crinkle, right?
Oh shit.
So,
Oh shit.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm really gonna call it, but I like kind of like thought of that name, I guess. But it's turning out to be a really nice plant. I want to keep running it more and things like that. I may start giving them away to see, if people want to grow them. But
Well,
at the moment, it's just more of my little side project, mad scientist thing that I'm doing
that's something that
here.
this meeting, I think I wrote it up as like quarterly meeting, would offer people the opportunity as well. I when I did a raffle at the Home Growth Championship that what all the proceeds are going towards sort of like a grow-in show. And it was going to be, I have a buddy that, like I said, I got that collection from. still has a bunch of his own personal genetics all the way up to like F3s and 4s that, again, he's not comfortable. Same exact phrase. I'm not comfortable marketing and selling these. They're strictly test only until I'm ready for them. And he has said, that's something that I would definitely come out of retirement and like just show up and say like, here, like, take these. Like, all I would ask is maybe, report back to me on it, like the as like this community can do, like no other. It's not really,
Hmm.
it's you're not selling it, so there's no expectation that they're gonna get, a huge fucking yield or anything like that. I mean, they could be fucking males, it's just, wow, this person gave me something to test. I am going to do that for him. 10 seeds, maybe I pop 3 or 4 of them right now. Like, it just keeps people in constant contact. It would allow you to get some of your testing done on it so you don't have to put in all of that legwork. Uh, and same with him and anybody else that would be involved, like anything. I'm not that we've got people coming with inventions and things, but I had somebody, I don't know if you saw them walking around at the festival, Battles Buds. He's based out
Hmm.
of Watertown in Gloversville, just about to get his micro business license, and he actually has a designed, created, machined, like vape, like handheld vape that he pretty much created. But still, like, it's like, again, maybe he's not going to want to give them out, but he could go in and bounce things off of people. It does not. It's not really just talking about, hey, this is how big my plants are. Look at the picture and sitting there and smoking the joint. It's about really networking. I don't want it to sound
Hmm.
like a job, but it really, you're networking for what you're passionate about. It's passion networking. It sounds like a fucking triple X website, but um, I really do think that on top of just being able to talk to everybody, it allows people to go and find out where the next events are, get themselves out there if they want to. One of the big things I said with the home grow committee that I'm on is, I do have 3 children that are very high maintenance kids as far as tension
Hmm.
goes, and I need notice. I can make it to anything, just need a little bit of notice, and then I'll be there. So, finding out about these events beforehand at something like this, where there's going to be people talking about it, might help somebody down the road planning their life. So, it I don't know. It really drives me to find ways to get people to keep communicating on this. And I mean, who knows? Eventually, people in that town, maybe. Did you hear about the cannabis meetings that happen at the firehouse on Wednesday evenings or whatnot? I think I'm gonna stop in there and see what it's all about. Come in and could learn something, could bring something, that nobody ever knew. Hopefully not mites or anything, but like something we never knew. Oh, I've been using these on my tomatoes, and holy shit, they're just huge tomatoes. Like, maybe you should try it at like moderation on this. Oh, okay. Boom. Oh my god, these I got beast or nuggets like I've never seen before in my life. I'll keep rambling and on and on and on and on. So I already know that you sponsored the Battle of the Buds. That's awesome. I'm gonna start getting to some of those. Did you create your own website?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah. I yeah, there's been a few different designs that I've tried, but this is the one I think I like. I'm going to stick with and I like the most right now. We kind of go with the pinup girl sort of theme. My That was kind of my wife's idea actually, and uh, and yep, that I completely have to work on that and design that myself because I unfortunately don't have the budget or staff to
yeah,
do otherwise. So it was trial by fire and learning through doing.
same here, man.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I am kind of a tech guy, so I do. I was familiar with how things work, but I had never done it before, and I have a little bit of an artistic flair, I like to think. So hopefully it looks good now. We've tried to get it so that it looks really nice and professional and things like that. But there's always tweaking and stuff that can
Right.
be done. I guess
Do
it's
you
always a work in progress.
do you get a lot of business through the website, or do you also offer like sales on Instagram? Because I know for like the
We
14.99 packs, when you when you were, that's where I found mine was on Instagram. Do you do
Yeah, we
full
do
business on there?
a lot of advertising through Instagram. Unfortunately, the website hasn't taken off as wonderfully as I wanted it to, but I guess like any other business, it's just going to take time and getting the word out there.
Right.
So yeah, I'm hoping that that picks up. But most of our business and contacts and everything, networking comes from doing events the most. Instagram, I guess, would be second, and then the website third. So we don't really, I don't tend to sell too many things on Instagram. It's,
Right.
all the products are on the website or available at events. So,
Gotcha.
I'll advertise the stuff more on Instagram and try to point people toward the website or the events. So Instagram's kind of being used now more as a way of getting the message out, I guess,
Gotcha.
on the other things.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So I don't know. I guess I could try more direct sales on Instagram, but I like using that mainly for the giveaways and just for the information, kind of getting the word out there,
Yeah. No.
letting people know what new products we have, what new breeders we might have gotten, and just spotlighting or highlighting some of the things like that. Some of our affiliates, I advertise that way
Right.
and things like that. But I haven't really tried selling too much on Instagram that way yet. And like I said, I really would love the website to take off a little bit more, but we'll wait and see, I guess.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat. I mean, I got a lot of crap on there, a lot of services, and yeah, if it's gonna, and if it's gonna take off, it's gonna take off. Like that's what it
Yeah.
is.
Yep.
I don't sit around thinking about it all day, every day. I've got other things that I'm doing as well. So, uh, what is between like shows, website, and every other the nine? What is, you would say, like your most sold variety? Like not necessarily
Hmm.
specific one, but like is there a theme of what you've seen a lot of people buying pack wise from you?
Um, Let me think here. And this year, a lot of the requests or a lot of the interest has been on like the Trop Cherry
Everybody's into drop
strains. Yeah,
cherry.
yeah.
Everybody.
I'm seeing a lot of that, and some of the old school stuff people are looking for again. Sending me on these hunts to find people that still have some of these older strains. So I'm trying to work on doing that, but mainly like I don't know, for whatever reason the Trop Cherry thing seems to be big this year.
That's they were
Um,
saying. The judges were
Last
like
year, what was
another
it? The
drop
blue?
cherries in.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems to be for whatever reason the big one now. It seems to go in, I don't know. It seems to go in spurts. Like that'll
Right.
be popular for a while, and then they're going to be looking for, I don't know, the next thing. But um, we try to have a variety for everyone. Autoflower, feminized, regular, you name it.
Do you
And like I
offer
said,
any like of the solutions like the SDS or anything like that on the website or anywhere
the what?
for
Say that again.
like
Like
reversals, like reversal solutions or anything like that?
oh, I know what you mean. The like the silver
Yep. Yeah,
stuff
like
that oh,
the colloidal or the STS.
not yet. That'd be something cool to add. It's just that I really would like to add more than just seeds, and go into things, everything having to do with starting and growing plants.
Right.
But I'm starting, I guess, with the seeds now, and hope to add things like that. And we've developed a few affiliates along the way. We have a good source for clones now. There's a greenhouse company, and I don't know if you've ever heard of Humboldt Secret.
Yep.
There's a discount code on our site for that,
Oh, very cool.
uh, and things like that. But I'd really like to get into more of a line of just different things that are needed to grow. not just seeds. But I think that's going to be in the future. Right now, we're working on trying to get the nursery license that's required in New York State and seeing where that goes.
Yeah.
So, that's going to be the next push is getting that and getting established as a more of an official nursery kind of thing instead
So
of just
is
selling
that
seeds.
along the same lines as like the micro business license?
It's a separate license now. They when they revised the regulations the last time, they included this license. It was never available before. There was just that micro business license, like you brought up. But now there's a specific nursery license for people that just want to do seeds and seedlings. And the stipulation there would be that you can't bring it to flower and sell that. You have to just sell as seeds and seedlings and like a regular plant
Right,
nursery
right.
would. And the thing with that is, I guess from speaking with people, you need both the regular New York State nursery license that you would for any type of nursery, as well as this additional one just specifically for cannabis. So
I didn't know there was a
it's
nursery
kind of like
license
two
to begin with.
licenses. Yeah.
Huh.
So
So does that license by nature, like the way you like worded it, like you can't bring it to flower, um, does that
I
eliminate you
and
from
sell it,
breeding?
like or sell it or make it into anything and sell that.
Okay, so like
So
you could still use a
it's
female to get your stuff going.
yes,
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so that's awesome.
yes, absolutely. It would just be you can't sell flower.
Right,
You
right.
can't be like a dispensary, or you
Hmm.
can't be like a micro business where you're selling something made from that plant.
Right.
You can only sell the seeds and the seedlings, as a nursery would.
Are there a
So.
lot of those licenses already granted in New York, or like?
This is a new thing,
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm not really sure how many they've even granted so far. It's kind of a big mess right now. It's really
Yeah, I
difficult
keep
to get
getting
information.
emails saying we've just done like another wave, and I think it's just the same damn email, and they keep
Yeah,
forwarding it out because I don't think the numbers change, and if
yeah,
it and
it's
you
weird.
it's like I feel like there'd be a lot more dispensaries out here, or
Oh yeah, it's a
businesses
big
out
mess.
here if they were really popping out hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of permits all the time, unless they're all down
Yeah,
in New
it's
York
on
City, but
hold,
I can't believe
kind
that,
of.
um, I don't have legal, maybe two legal dispensaries within 30 miles of here.
Yeah,
The
it's the
rest is
same
I
here
have
as
like
well.
we have a native population, so they have a different set. They have sovereign land around here, so there's those. They're completely legal in that sense. But New York State legal, yeah, it's like
But would you have Just Breathe out there, don't you?
uh
I think I think that would be around you. He's in.
Ted
His name's Danny or Dan.
just
I'm trying to. He's outside of Weedsport, Montezuma. It's in that area, so
okay.
sort of close to.
There's one called Pipe Keepers that I know of in Montezuma.
Oh,
That's
okay,
that's
yeah,
a
I've
native
seen
one
that one as
though.
well.
Um,
Yes.
I'll have to look that up and go see. Yes, absolutely do. It's right across the street from Montezuma Winery. I don't know why I said it
Okay.
like
Yep.
that, but yeah, no, just
I don't
breathe.
know if you remember. I don't know if you've ever seen Prohibition Profits, the shirts.
No.
Uh, well, he started out at Q School as well, and he came out with this whole line of t-shirts and hats and things like that said Prohibition Profits with his logo on it and stuff like that. And now he's gone and gotten his legal license for a legal dispensary, and he's been open. It hasn't been a super long time, maybe about 6 months or so, but he's right out there in Montezuma.
Yeah.
It's called Just Breathe.
Yep. Nope. That's yeah. It's right at the intersection of 5 and 20 and oh God, Route 89, heading towards Auburn.
Yeah, he's bought plants from me back like last year, for different things, and I got to know him that way, and I got to know him through Q Bowl, and he's a really nice guy. They always have something going on out there at the dispensary,
Yeah.
and
Very cool.
like live music and things like that. So it's a lot of fun if anyone's in that area. Stop in.
Oh yeah,
He's a
that's
really nice
literally
guy.
like that's that I totally forgot about that. So there's three in my area because that's like around the corner from me.
Yeah, it took him forever to get approved. I mean, the whole
Yeah,
process has
yeah,
just been a mess.
yeah. I
I'm
considered
still
it
talking
too.
to
It's
people now that are
crazy.
just in limbo, you know.
Battle Buds was in Battles Buds. Sorry, Justin. Sorry, Justin. It was he just went and got some other preliminary paperwork done. Like they'd call him, he was on a second wave. So he said the same thing. You know, it's taken a
Hmm.
long
It's
time.
obnoxious. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like buying a house. Like when you're trying to get that big loan, like you can't do anything in life.
Hmm.
Like you fucking buy an extra gallon of milk on a Wednesday. Like, well, why'd you do that? What are you doing? What's going on? What's all the milk for, dude? So okay, yeah, I thought about it, and it's still something, like on the front of my mind, to do. Again, it's been a passion of mine forever. So it's relatively cheap compared to full scale. Uh,
Hmm.
so that's always a plus. The wait and having to sit and deal with New York State, take forever to do the regulations. That's a different story. But yeah, no, I mean, I definitely appreciate you coming on tonight. It's something, again, I like doing it. Regular guy. You seem like a regular guy. It shows that this plant is an everyday life for everyday people type thing, and
Absolutely. It
it's
is. Yep.
more than just smoking. It's a passion for doing other things with it in its full stage of life. You're not like you're gonna go get your nursery license for this, and it's dealing with the baby side of it that just gives people the opportunity to do what they want with it later, showing that you're not in it to make the big fattest buds so you can just go sit at your couch and smoke it and eat bugles.
No,
It's
that'd be too boring.
yeah, it's just
I can't sit still that long.
yeah.
So,
So it's I hope eye opening for anybody who watches this. Just seeing that there's this still another layer that's being peeled back on this stigma that everybody's got their own stuff going on. It's not like it's not the scales of the epidemics that you see out in the world today. Um,
right.
I will
Yep.
reach
I
out to
mean,
you. Um, what was that?
I was just going to say, I really appreciate you having me on and giving me this opportunity. I am sort of a shy person who suffers from anxiety,
Yeah.
and anything like this is good for me because it gives me a challenge, kind of getting out of my comfort zone
Oh, you did well.
and
You
doing
did well,
something
man.
that's not, yeah, that's not exactly in my strong suit, I guess
You
you'd
get
say.
anybody
So,
talking, they eventually will. I say lighten up. Don't take that the wrong way. I can't think of quick words. Yeah,
no, I know what
I
you mean.
have anxiety too. Everybody, I think has a little bit here and there. Uh, so you are not alone in that, sir. Anytime you feel like you want to get out of your comfort zone, I'm always looking to record something. I'm always looking to bounce ideas off of anybody. And like I said, with those meetings, I will reach out to you for those. It's
Oh, I
it's
would love it if you did. Yes,
yeah.
thank you.
I think it's something, I'd be getting Dave there. I'd be getting a whole bunch of the other group members there.
I,
It's
I'm in this for the education for myself and for others. I want to get as many people growing as possible because, again, like we were talking about before, it will remove the stigma. And you'd be surprised going to these events. You'd think that it might be all just young kids or who
right.
hoodlums or something like that. But most of the events that I've been to, the average age is probably your age and up to like 70. It's strange. There's a lot of older people now that are discovering growing again.
Yep.
In like their 60s and 70s that have these backyard gardens now. So it's not just the what the stereotype is. It's people from all walks of life. The people that go to these events and have booths set up at them are all families. I don't think many of them there are aren't, like we don't have uh,
Huge stores and like
kids and yeah,
all
and
that
stuff
stuff.
like
Yeah.
that. They're just ordinary, normal people. It's
Right.
not,
It's
it's
w-
not, like what's imagined out there, a bunch of criminals getting
yeah.
together and conspiring something. It's nothing like that.
Yep.
It's normal people that go out to these events and just, want to have a good time and get educated on, just some of these different things now that are available in this legal state that we're in now.
Legal
So,
state. Yes,
yep.
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, yeah, I will be sure to reach out to you.
Oh, excellent.
And season 2 is probably going to get launched in 2025. I'd love to have you on as a guest in there as well.
Oh,
Uh,
I'd love to be back.
but I am 100% sure we'll eventually talk again before that.
Oh yeah, we'll cross paths a lot, I'm sure.
Yep.
I mean, it is relatively small community, even though it's big.
Right.
It seems like everybody sort of knows everybody, or at least somebody that somebody knows.
Yep.
So it's a big family, which I love. That's another aspect of it that I love.
Yep. That's the truth.
So I really appreciate your time and thank you
No, thanks
for
for
doing this.
rolling with the punches with the time, and you have a great rest of your night.
Oh, no worries. You as well. Things come up.
Yep.
So,
Thank you.
all right, thank you.